The WWE Universe just witnessed something absolutely insane that nobody saw coming, and trust me when I say this changes everything we thought we knew about Wargames and the entire Bloodline saga. If you haven't heard the news yet, you better sit down, because Jacob Fatu just made his shocking return, and he didn't come back alone or quiet. He came back with a statement that's going to shake the foundation of professional wrestling as we know it. Before we dive into this explosive story, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because you don't want to miss any of the incredible updates coming your way. The arena erupted into absolute chaos when Jacob Fatu's music hit and the crowd lost their collective minds, because this wasn't just any return, this was the return everyone had been whispering about in dark corners of the internet for months. The Samoan werewolf had been away dealing with what many believed were career-threatening issues, and there were genuine concerns about whether we would ever see him step foot in a WWE ring again. But tonight all those doubts got thrown out the window when he walked down that ramp with a purpose that sent chills down everyone's spine. Roman Reigns stood in the center of the ring looking like he had just seen a ghost, but not the kind of ghost that scares you, the kind that brings back memories of power and dominance. The tribal chief has been dealing with his own set of problems lately, with Solo Sikoa trying to take over the Bloodline and creating his own version of what the family should be. The tension between the original Bloodline and this new faction has been building for weeks, and everyone knew that Wargames was going to be the battleground where everything would come to a head. Jacob Fatu walked up those steel steps with the confidence of a man who knows exactly what he brings to the table, and when he locked eyes with Roman Reigns, the entire building held its breath. These two men share blood, they share history, and they share a legacy that runs deeper than anything Solo Sikoa could ever understand. The moment stretched out for what felt like an eternity as everyone wondered which way this was going to go, because in the world of the Bloodline you can never be too sure about loyalties and allegiances. Then something happened that made the crowd explode with a roar that could probably be heard in the next state. Jacob Fatu extended his hand to Roman Reigns, and after a moment of hesitation that felt like forever, the tribal chief clasped it firmly. The handshake wasn't just a simple greeting, it was a declaration of war against Solo Sikoa and his crew. It was a message that said the real Bloodline is back, and they're coming for everyone who thought they could take their spot at the top of the mountain. The implications of this alliance are absolutely staggering when you really think about what this means for Wargames. Roman Reigns already had Jimmy Uso and G.U.S.O. back in his corner after months of family drama and reconciliation that tugged at everyone's heartstrings. Adding Jacob Fatu to this mix doesn't just level the playing field, it tips the scales so heavily in Roman's favor that Solo Sikoa and his group should be genuinely terrified. Jacob Fatu isn't your average wrestler, he's a force of nature who combines raw power with an agility that shouldn't be possible for someone his size. The history between these family members runs so deep that you could write novels about it and still not capture all the nuances. Jacob Fatu has always been seen as one of the most dangerous members of the entire Anoa'i family tree, and his reputation preceded him long before he ever stepped into a WWE ring. His work in other promotions had fans salivating at the thought of what he could do on the biggest stage in professional wrestling, and now we're finally going to see it at Wargames, where the stakes couldn't possibly be higher. Solo Sikoa must be watching all of this unfold and realizing that his plan to usurp Roman Reigns just got exponentially more difficult. He had been building his own version of the Bloodline with Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu was supposed to be part of that crew, but clearly those plans have completely fallen apart. The look on Solo's face when he sees the footage of Jacob shaking hands with Roman is going to be priceless, and you can bet that's going to add even more fuel to an already raging fire. Wargames has always been about chaos, about brutality, about teams going to war inside the most unforgiving structure in all of professional wrestling. 2 rings, 1 steel cage surrounding both, and nowhere to hide when the violence starts flowing. This match was already shaping up to be something special, but now with Jacob Fatu in the mix, we're looking at a potential show stealer that people are going to be talking about for years. The combination of Roman's strategic mind, the Usos' tag team excellence, and Jacob Fatu's unbridled aggression creates a team that looks absolutely unstoppable on paper. The WWE creative team deserves credit for keeping this return under wraps, because in today's world of constant leaks and spoilers, genuine surprises are becoming increasingly rare. Everyone had theories about who might show up to help Roman, but Jacob Fatu returning at this exact moment with this exact alignment was not on most people's bingo cards. The element of surprise alone gives Roman's team a psychological advantage going into Wargames, because Solo and his crew now have to completely rethink their strategy. Think about the dynamics at play here with this reformed Bloodline. You have Roman Reigns, who has carried WWE on his back for years and established himself as one of the greatest champions in company history. You have Jimmy and G.U.S.O., who are arguably the best tag team of their generation with chemistry that only brothers can have. And now you add Jacob Fatu, who brings a completely different energy and style that complements everyone else perfectly. This isn't just a team, this is a wrecking crew that's about to remind everyone why the Bloodline has dominated WWE for so long. The training and preparation that must be happening behind the scenes right now is probably intense beyond belief. Jacob Fatu hasn't competed in a WWE ring before, so there's going to be some adjustment period, even though he's obviously an incredibly talented performer. But the beauty of Wargames is that it's designed for chaos, and in chaos Jacob Fatu thrives better than almost anyone. His style is perfectly suited for the brutality that Wargames demands, and you can already imagine the sick bumps and crazy spots that are going to happen. Roman Reigns has been on a journey of redemption, in some ways trying to reclaim what Solo Sikoa took from him. The younger cousin thought he could do what Roman did better and faster, but he's learning the hard way that there's only one tribal chief. The disrespect that Solo showed by trying to rebuild the bloodline in his own image without Roman's blessing was always going to lead to this confrontation. But now, instead of it being a somewhat even fight, Roman has stacked his team with someone who might be even more dangerous than he is. The wrestling world is already buzzing with predictions about what's going to happen at Wargames and how this match is going to unfold. Some people think Solo's team still has a chance because they've been working together longer and have built their own chemistry. Others believe that blood is thicker than water and the real bloodline is going to destroy these pretenders in brutal fashion. One thing everyone agrees on is that this match is going to be absolutely insane and nobody watching is going to be able to look away for even a second. Jacob Fatu's presence also opens up so many possibilities for future storylines beyond just Wargames. Assuming Roman's team wins, what happens next with this reformed bloodline? Do they go after all the championships and try to dominate every division? Does Jacob Fatu challenge Roman for supremacy within the family? The potential directions are endless, and that's what makes this return so exciting, because it's not just about one match, it's about the long-term future of one of WWE's most important factions. The fans in attendance tonight lost their minds when Jacob Fatu appeared, and social media immediately exploded with reactions from wrestling fans around the globe. Trending topics took over within minutes, and everyone was sharing their thoughts about what this means and what's going to happen next. That's the kind of buzz that WWE dreams about creating, and they nailed it with this surprise return and alignment. The organic excitement from fans is something you can't fake, and tonight they got it in spades. Looking at Solo Sikoa's team now, you have to wonder if they're having second thoughts about this whole situation. Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa are tough competitors, but are they ready for the absolute war that's coming their way? Jacob Fatu knows both of them well from their time working together in other promotions, and that familiarity could actually work against Solo's team. Jacob knows their tendencies, their favorite moves, their strategies, and he can help Roman's team prepare specifically for what they're going to face. The build to Wargames just got ramped up to an entirely different level, and the next few weeks of television are going to be must-watch as these two factions head toward their inevitable collision. You can expect confrontations, brawls, mind games, and probably a few more surprises along the way, because that's how WWE builds to their premium live events. But the foundation has been set, and the main event of Wargames is now the hottest match in professional wrestling, period. Roman Reigns has always been about family and legacy, despite all the complicated politics that come with the bloodline. His character has evolved so much over the years, from the Shield to the failed babyface push to finally becoming the dominant heel tribal chief. Now he's in this interesting position where he's still not exactly a good guy, but the fans are rallying behind him against Solo because they recognize the disrespect and the betrayal. Jacob Fatu joining his side only amplifies the dynamic and makes this whole story even more compelling. The physicality that Jacob Fatu brings cannot be overstated enough, because this man is a legitimate athletic freak who can do things that someone his size shouldn't be able to do. He can fly around the ring with moonsaults and dives, but he can also hit you with power moves that will make you question your life choices. In the confined chaos of Wargames, where there's steel and metal everywhere, someone with his skill set becomes an absolute nightmare for the opposition. Solo's team is going to have to account for him at all times or risk getting destroyed. The storytelling possibilities are endless, and that's what has everyone so excited about where this is all heading. WWE has been knocking it out of the park with their storytelling lately, and the Bloodline saga has been the crown jewel of their programming. Adding Jacob Fatu into the mix just raises the stakes even higher and gives them fresh material to work with for months or even years to come. The family drama, the power struggles, the betrayals, the reconciliations, all of it combines to create compelling television that keeps people invested. As we count down the days to Wargames, the anticipation is going to build to a fever pitch, and that's exactly what WWE wants. They want people talking, speculating, debating, and getting emotionally invested in the outcome. The return of Jacob Fatu and his alignment with Roman Reigns gives them all of that and more. This is the kind of moment that reminds everyone why they fell in love with professional wrestling in the first place, because when it's done right, nothing else in entertainment quite compares. The training footage that's surely going to air in the coming weeks showing this reunited bloodline preparing for battle is going to be incredible. Seeing Roman, Jimmy, G, and Jacob all working together with a common purpose will reinforce the family bonds and the shared mission. Meanwhile, Solo's team will be shown plotting and scheming, trying to figure out how to overcome what now seems like insurmountable odds. The contrast between the two groups will be stark and effective in building sympathy for Roman's side. Whatever happens at Wargames, one thing is absolutely certain: Jacob Fatu's return has changed everything, and the wrestling landscape will never be quite the same. This is the kind of move that defines eras and creates legendary moments that fans will remember forever. The real bloodline is back together, and they're coming for anyone who stands in their way. Make sure you stay subscribed to this channel, because we're going to be covering every single development in this story as it unfolds, and trust me, you don't want to miss a single second of what's coming next in this incredible saga.